What's up guys, KDub175 back with another Pokemon Duel video, and you guys already know the grass gym is here. I'm gonna try to do the best I can at doing a resemblance of a deck prep, just kind of going over the figures that I have, and I definitely will look in the material exchange just to take a look at the figures I don't have, because there's quite a few figures that I don't have that I think are going to be relevant in the gym. So we're going to take a look at these grass types, try to see, which grass types are going to be the best. We'll look at the fire types, see which ones are going to be the best, and then we'll even look at the figures outside of the grass types and fire types to see which ones will counter a lot of the meta figures. Decidueye, I think, is going to be a really good figure in this gym. So happy that I pulled him. I got him to level 4 all the way, but his ability to be able to come out and make opponents spin on the entry point and move through figures is just insane. Dartrix, I think, is going to be an easy evolution. 3 MP, it is a flying type, so it will stop Virizion, and that is very important, I think. And there's not a lot of blue, so we'll have a 110, an 80, and a 40 grass knot. Gold, I think, is going to be really important in this gym. There's not a lot of gold. Sceptile's got a little bit. Gourgeist here has a little bit. 3 MP, also nothing can stop it, same as Decidueye, ghost type, so that's always really good. Virizion, can be stopped by flying types, so we're going to have a 2 MP Trevenant, 3 MP Phantom. If you can get the evolution, with the confusion, maybe get a confusion off and then get the evolution, you can have a 120, but let's just, assume it's going to be a 110, 2 MP Trevenant. Going to be a lot of grass types, so definitely think Trevenant is a contender, though I don't think I'm going to use him in my deck. I'm not sure just yet. Phantom does have a blue. It has good survivability. Definitely is a 3 MP, especially if you can, get past the opponent, get up onto the entry point, and they don't have a gold block, then they have to attack you. You have a good chance of surviving. So these are the grass types that have gold. Sceptile has some gold. A 3 MP stealth hit is going to definitely be pretty scary. It can hit for 140, so it's going to be able to take out a lot of the fire types. Grovyle has gold. Grovyle I think is going to be a pretty good figure just because of the ability. It can kind of work like Dig for grass types. You can kind of just teleport from one end of the line of figures to the other end. So a lot of people forget about that. I think it's going to be a pretty good ability. And, like I said, 3 MP. Any figure that's a 3 MP, when it's generally a 2 MP, is going to be much better, obviously. And it can hit for 120, and it's got some gold on there. So I think we will see some Groviles, definitely. Rowlet, I don't know if it'd be worth it to try to evolve, because like I said, there's not a lot of blue. You do have it on Sceptile. People that are going to be running Torterra, there's a good amount of blue. And then on some of the fire types like Moltres, maybe some other figures we can look at that are going to have blue. But I think Dartrix is going to be fine. To be 100%, run the Dartrix and get the evolution. You could run it with an X speed, double chance. I got my Dartrix to level 4. Some Carmonite would definitely go a long way as well. That purple's really good. Torterra is going to be a 2 MP, 120, 100. Not a bad figure. It just depends on what you guys have. So I think it's going to be a contender. I think, not a contender, but it's going to be a figure we're going to see. I think we're going to see it, and it's a good way to hold your entry point down so you can continue to get Pokemon out. But with Blaziken hitting 150 in a 3-star Cyclone kick, Torterra is going to get eaten alive. Moltres is a 130. Then you have the Incineroar thing. So we have a 3 MP Chestnut. It does have 100 now. It doesn't really change a lot. The Spiky Shield is pretty cool. In a tough situation, you get Gold Block Chestnut. If you have Virizion just sprinting up to your goal, so you have a decent shot of, kind of going neutral with the Typhoon Slash until you can get back up. But again, I don't think it's a figure that I'm going to run. Now Virizion, I'm definitely going to run Virizion. I think if you have Virizion, it needs to be on your team. 3 MP, it has Grass Knot. There's going to be a lot of fire types that are going to be hitting 120 plus, so Grass Knot's going to be really good cover. The Typhoon Slash, you know, there's a lot of things you can do. Swap Spot might be a good plate to run with Virizion, depending on, you know, your deck style and your play style. You know, definitely some Double Chance. X Speed isn't great for it, but you know, Double Chance, definitely. Double Chance, Virizion, 3 MP. You know, these games could be going pretty quick. Sceptile's definitely going to be somebody on my team. Like I said, 3 MP Sceptile, you know, you can get some stealth hit wins. And it's just a strong figure. It can hit 140. Yeah, this Virizion, though, I got him to level 5. 102, so I have the 1 chain level. I wish I had a few more chain levels, I'll be honest, but yeah, definitely going to be running the Dartrix and evolve into the Decidueye. Now that could be a spot that might be like a, you know, a variable. I don't know, but we do have a Venusaur here. He's got 132 because I have 2 chain levels. It's going to be a 2 MP. You could possibly put people to sleep. Maybe ran alongside Trevenant, so you could be really annoying putting Pokemon to sleep, but it's not going to be somebody that I run on my team. Now, you could run Gengar, you know, if you like. Believe me, I love Gengar, run him in League, but I honestly I don't think I'm going to run Gengar this gym. You know, we have the Ludicolo, and you know, it's not a bad figure. It's 3 MP once again. Like, obviously all these figures get the MP buff. And you could run this with the Decidueye. I think I said this in my booster opening video, but you know, if you run Decidueye, you could bring him out, force them to put somebody on their entry point. Hopefully it's going to be somebody with a lot of purple. Then you could bring Decidueye out and hopefully try to get a knockout. But you know, a 70 and a 50. It does have the Grass Knot, so you know, good cover. But I honestly, I don't think this is going to be a figure that I'm going to run. I think we're going to see it, though. It just, again, it depends what you have. But this figure, it definitely is going to be for certain purposes. Just as a standalone figure, it's not going to be good. I think you need to have a Decidueye. I think you need to have a plan and when to bring him out. Maybe wait for them to bring out some of their Pokemon until maybe they only have 1 or 2 Pokemon left on their bench that have a lot of purple. Then you make the play to bring him out, so they have to put one of those figures on their entry point, and you have Decidueye waiting to come out and just wreck them. Yeah, that Dartrix is just, it's going to be really good, I think, especially with a Double Chance and an X Speed. So, these are all the grass types that have blue in it. So maybe see Leafeon. You know, it's not a lot of figures that have blue. Let's take a look at the fire types. Yeah, so you have like Moltres, Infernape, we might, I mean, and they're all small blues, so I think it just stands the point that Dartrix is going to have a pretty easy time evolving if you can land that purple and not get knocked out by, you know, like Blaziken or like by a gold or something. Definitely think Dartrix is going to be a really good runner because it can stop Virizion, like I said. It can hit for over 100. I have 2 chain levels I put into it. But we have Lilligant here. I don't know. I mean, it has the sleep powder. You know, 30 spinner. It would be a lot better at a 50 spinner. Even whenever we had a 50 spinner, but it was only a 2 MP. I don't know. Like I said, it depends what you guys have. I'm just kind of showing you which figures I think have a chance to make it on a team. Whimsicott, not going to get any buff. You know, it's got the built-in swap spot, but Shiftry now, 3 MP. If this thing was a little bit stronger, Shiftry would be really good. But again, it depends what figures you have. I don't think it's going to be great. You know, Leafeon, again, not going to be great. Doesn't get a buff. But I think we are going to see a lot of grass types. So, again, if you have a plan, if you have some type of plan, you could put Leafeon on there. You know, you can put people to sleep. And then you can go through them. Because there's going to be a lot of grass types. You know, this thing with the slippery is pretty cool. I'd like to try it out just to see kind of how it works, because I'm not sure how it works at all. But if you could pick which Pokemon you switch with, like it sounds like you can, you could just try to bait them out to surround you and take the goal. So it might be smart to try to test that out really quick and try to get a bunch of cheesy wins before people actually figure it out. Get that 11 win streak, right? Just with the Lombre. But I don't see it evolving. It's not that great. It has Grass Knot. But mainly for its abilities, pretty good. I mean, you could run the Oricorio, the ballet style, and try to get some evolutions off, but nah. Now, Pumpkaboo, I think Pumpkaboo's a decent option because it's a 3 MP that can move through figures. It has a 3-star purple, so it can go neutral with the Cyclone Kick. You can put Trick or Treat markers down. You can get out of your, you can get off the bench into the field, and then if you do want to run it with the Gourgeist evolution or alongside Gourgeist, you might be able to get some cool banishes, because I think we might see the dragons. I definitely think we might see the dragons. Petalil, I think we will see a lot of status effects because, Moltres with the Flame Charge, you got the Flare Blitz on the Incineroar and then Blaziken, so you could use Petalil to kind of heal your team. It's got the Sleep Powder and the Grass Knot. Again, not something I'm going to run. I don't think we're going to see a lot of it. Executor, I would like to try this out a couple times because I used to actually run this deck with the Executor and some Executes, and it hits pretty hard, especially for an uncommon, and with the 2 MP, you're not going to be slowed down by the 1 MP. Nuzleaf, this thing just sucks. Well, let's be honest, it's not bad with the X speed, but it is a 3 MP. If you're new and you don't have a lot of EX figures, you're going to have to try to make do and kind of, come up with some stuff. Now, I'm definitely wanting the Weeping Bell and the Victory Bell to come out. Trico, not going to get a buff. Not worth running, in my opinion. Go with the Grovyle to the Sceptile evolution. Check this out, man. We got the Cacnea almost to chain level 10. I cannot wait. Then I could put some Carmonite into it. It's really good with X speed. It can pop off and just hit an insanely high amount of damage. So I definitely like Cacnea, and I really wish we would have got the Cacturn. I was praying that we would get Cacturn. It's a grass type and a dark type, so it'd be like a sweet tropical dark energy team. Now this C-Dot is actually pretty sweet. If you could get this thing to chain level 10, this thing's pretty good alone. Like, you could set the evolution, but I think this thing's pretty awesome, to be honest, man. That 10 kind of sucks, but if you put a bunch of Carmonite into that Bullet Seed and it was at 30 times, like, that thing's a pretty scary runner. But I think that's it for the grass types. I think we covered them. So we got the Megazard. I don't know if we're going to be seeing a lot of Charizard still. I think we're going to see people testing them with the Oricorio, trying to get the evolution for the Charmeleon. So you can get that Charizard 2 MP, so he's not completely useless, and he gets that plus 10 to his spinner. And then the Megazard with the 3 MP. Like, Charmeleon's going to be doing 70 damage. Charizard's going to be pretty scary with that spinner because of the, the plus 20 on the spinner alone. But still, that 1 MP just kind of sucks. But, I mean, you could run an X speed with this guy, a 70 damage, maybe use an X attack. And, if you have some chain levels on it, try to knock out some Virizions or whatever. But then we have the Incineroar. This thing's going to be doing 130 and 100. I definitely think the evolutions are very, very viable, even in League. Litten's going to have a little bit more of an issue in this gym because there's not a lot of gold. But you could use the X speed because I think there's going to be a lot of purple. But 130 and 100, it's not great. It's got 12 miss, so even at level 5, it's going to have 8 miss. This thing definitely is going to need some Carmonite, and I think the 110 is what you need to expand. But you could possibly send a couple of figures back to the bench. You get a knockout, send them back to the bench. If you get knocked out on the 80, you do leave a status effect, you burn them. The suplex depends on the situation of where you're at. But if you can get the evolution, it'll be 140 and 110, which I definitely think is probably needed. But I think it takes some Carmonite into the Torcat as well, but at least you can evolve off of the purple. Let's see here. Yeah, Torcat. Yeah, 3-star fake out. It's going to have a 60 damage, so you could either use an X speed or a double chance. I would definitely expand the purple though, and you have a good shot at evolving. I'm really happy I pulled the Incineroar. I am, but I just don't have the resources to dump into him right now. So I think my team is going to be mainly, grass types. We have the Chandelure. This thing's 130, really good Pokemon. I put the 1 point into the blue just because I was trying it out with the Litwick and the Lampet on the side. So, like, you can burn them with Litwick and then move through them with Lampet. And I figured if I hit the blue, like, then I could just knock out those Pokemon that are branded. So, Friaza told me that to look at it kind of like an overpowered Moltres. And it does make a lot of sense. Like, you would want to level up to 110 because the blue and the purple is just kind of there for survivability, depending on how you're running it. So it's pretty cool if you brand a bunch of figures with your Lampet and this thing gets knocked out. It also takes every figure that's branded, and then when they're branded, they don't get to take advantage of like the power boosts or anything like that. So, I don't know. Like, I might run this thing. I would run it. And I mean, if you get knocked out on the 110, as long as it's not like a Cyclone Kick, then you're going to leave a burn. So I definitely think we're going to be seeing Chandelure. If you have Chandelure, I would definitely consider putting it on the team. Now, here's the big surprise, guys. Check it out. Blaziken. Maybe some of you more observant people noticed that I spent my materials, but I bought the Blaziken. I cut him all the way up to level 9 right away. I put an EX Cube into him. I'm thinking about maybe putting one more, and I already had Combuskin. I put a ton of resources into Combuskin. This thing is going to be a monster, a 151 and a 40, so even people that are running Mew, like, they're going to have to think twice, because basically if they hit a 50, all of our wheel, except 75% of our wheel beats them. And so I'm pretty happy to have that Blaziken. He's going to be on the team. Moltres, good way to block off the Virizion. It's going to be doing 130, 131 because I have a chain. So I was thinking about running it. I'm not sure. I have a few ideas for my team. Typhlosion. Again, if you're lacking figures, this thing's going to be doing a base 110 with the Fire Blast. And then if you get some Pokemon in the PC, it's going to gain some MP, plus 10 damage per Pokemon, but it sucks. Delphox, this thing sucks so bad right now. It needed a buff. Why the devs decided to include it in the banner and not even give it a buff is beyond me. Infernape, I think, with Carmonite, leveling up that drive kick, this thing has potential. A 110 and a 60 gold. There's not a lot of gold, like I said. So, I think people are going to be using Mew. People are probably going to be using Zapdos. But in terms of grass and fire types, if you want to make sure you're getting the buff from the gym, you get some really good wins. Definitely get some really good wins with Infernape, but needs Carmonite, and there's a lot of other choices that the Carmonite would be much better used. Charizard is going to be insane with a 70 times spinner. Just base. That's even if you don't get the evolution, but 1 MP's too slow. Charmeleon's too big of a risk, in my opinion. Now Ho could be used pretty well. 120 and a 70 isn't too bad. It's going to counter a lot of the grass types, and then you can cycle out your Pokemon. I definitely think it's a good figure to use. This Torcat, it sucks when you got to put so much Carmonite into these figures. But I got the Combuskin here. I'm definitely getting him to level 9. I'm going to get him all the way to level 9. I have the materials. I have the Carmonite to do it. I just need a little bit more metal and experience, which I should be able to do here pretty soon. Flareon, I don't think is going to be that great. There's a lot of better grass runners that can hit harder than that. So even with the buff, the Oricorio, it's going to be having an 80 damage. And if you want to try to get some evolutions off, I think we're going to be seeing it. And it's up to you guys. I'm not the best deck builder, believe me. There's a lot of smarter people out there than me. This thing's going to have a 70 flamethrower, not too bad. Still going to be pretty tough to evolve. I think Lampent works best when evolved from Litwick, and then having Chandelure separate. But, yeah, I think Carmonite into this guy would almost guarantee the evolution almost like every time, but you still have a chance. It's kind of like Metapod, like Metapod, you almost always get the evolution in the uncommon haul when I long throw them out. Magby is just, with a 50, no, guys. Yeah, Torchic, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, you could run these guys if you have the full evolution line, and you have the EX, and you want to run the Oricorio. But it's just, man, this is just way too big of a risk. Way too big of a risk. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, imagine having that thing on the field, and then you come into a Resh Zek team. I mean, that thing is just waiting to get banished. So let's take a look at some of the figures that are outside of the grass and fire type. Definitely going to be putting Decidueye on the team. We've already discussed him, though. Mega Blastoise, if the mirror coat on Blastoise actually knocked out other 2-star Pokemon, like if it tied or below, it'd be worth it, but I don't know. Now, Magnezone ran with the Tapu Koko, evolved from the Magneton. You could run an X Speed. You're getting a buff from the Koko, and, I think it'd be worth it. Now, Lunala, to stop the Virizion cheese, I'm definitely considering putting that on. Now, we do have the 2 Lunala. This is the one I've been putting resources. Now, I did go ahead and dump a few more EX cubes to get it to a 65, just so it can tie with the 130. Because I do run it in League, so it's not like I just did it for the gym, guys. But you cannot Typhoon Slash the Lunala, so you don't have to worry about moving up into the center of the board, and then that Virizion coming over and trying to get that Typhoon Slash. Trying to get that Typhoon Slash in the middle, or if you're in a bad spot, you have to goal block. Noivern, I don't think so. Malamar, this could actually be a decent Pokemon to run, mainly because in gyms you see a lot of duplicates. If people that have the best figures, they're gonna run duplicates, right? So then you can get a lot of Pokemon put to sleep. So, it could be a contender. Seismitoad, if you want to run Trevenant and Gengar, you can maybe run the Toad. It's up to you. Cobalion, there's not a lot of gold. I don't think it's worth it. Dragonite, I definitely think needs a buff. It's just not that good. Even if you get fully evolve it. I know a lot of people argue for Dragonite and think that it's fine and it's good. It just needs evolve. Just Dragonair's too hard to evolve. Just too hard to evolve, I think. Dratini, with a max revive, you got the push aside too. I don't know. Dragonite should be much better. Now, Zapdos, I think we'll see Zapdos because there's a lot of purple. And then you could run it with the Koko and the Magneton, Magnezone. That would be a sweet little trio, in my opinion. Depending on how many figures you're lacking. So we have the Zekrom. God, I wish I had the Reshiram. I just bought the Blaziken though, and I don't really know if I'd be running dragons. I do want to try them out, but I don't have any chain levels. I don't have the materials to get them to level 5. It's just, I think I'm trying to do too much at once. So that's why I just, I decided on the Blaziken. Deoxys, it's got the 130, so people that have chain level 10, it's doing 140. It'll be able to knock out Moltres, the grass types, things like that. So if you're running mainly a grass deck, maybe you want to include Tropical Energy. Heatran. Actually, I don't know if I covered Heatran in the other fight. I must have missed him. Heatran really good. Going to be doing 130 and 90. And you can keep your entry points kind of cleared off because it's going to be a rush, guys. With the Virizions and the Phantoms and just the Decidueye. But I don't think Virizion's going to be as good as he was in the first Grass Gym. Phantom and Virizion were, insane. Mew might be a decent figure, but there's a lot of grass types that can counter Mew. But he might be good is kind of your Blaziken counter, because anybody that has Blaziken, you already know is going to be running Blaziken. I finally decided to buy him now. Sableye, I'm really considering putting Sableye on the team. You guys know I love Sableye. Sableye is like one of my favorite Pokemon, and he's gonna, he's a decent counter for Blaziken. For Virizion, just like a lot of figures. Now Magneton, like I said, with the Coco and the X speed, the whole wheel turns gold. You have a good shot at evolving. You knock out the grass types, possibly knock out even fire types. Gyarados might not be a bad figure. This thing pretty much hard counters Virizion. Yeah, so it's a good figure. It's going to knock out a lot of the grass types. It's got the Storm, which is really good. Now Magikarp is prone to getting excluded, getting banished by the dragons. Let's see, who else is in here? I know this video is getting pretty long, guys. I've just been kind of rambling and doing like all these figure reviews and things, but we're just like hanging out, checking out figures, kind of theorizing stuff. This thing's not too bad. It sucks it's 1 MP. That thing's really strong. Again, if you're lacking figures, you got to make do. Steelix is pretty good. Pretty good. Who else is in here? Vibrava. Yeah, Vibrava. I definitely think Vibrava is almost a must depending on your deck, because you can slow down the rush and give yourself some time to set up. He's a great gold defender. Flygon. He's got the Draco Meteor. There's going to be a ton of figures that have a 70 plus, and also if they hit miss. So Draco Meteor is really, really good. Bronzor. This is another really good figure, because we're going to be seeing a lot of 3MP grass types, so that Heavy Slam can come in clutch, and it has a Confuse Ray. And the evolution isn't horrible. Poliwhirl, I definitely think, is a really good option as well. A lot of figures are countered by Poliwhirl, for Virizion. I leveled up to 51 for like matchups like Sceptile, because it usually goes into the quick attack. And Blaziken hits the Cyclone Kick, goes into a miss. Lunala, it hard counters him pretty well. Well, not hard counters, I don't want to use that term. Now Bronzong, look at this wheel. At a 110 and a 30, right? If you get the evolution, like, that is a solid wheel. And it's got the Confuse Ray. It just sucks that it's a 1 MP. Like, if it had the speed boost on the evolution, I think we would see that maybe even in League. But I think that pretty much covers all the figures, guys. I don't know if I missed anything. This is kind of like my first time doing a deck prep video. I know it's definitely not as good as Go Shiny Hunter, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys my take on it. Mega Charizard X. I do not have a Mega Charizard X, but 3MP now. Mega Charizard Y is pretty good. Magmortar. It's going to have an 80 damage, and if you have the Carmonite, I know Kankyo put a lot of Carmonite into his Magmortar. Reshiram, look at this thing. This thing's going to be doing 120, and it's going to be, even stronger with a Overdrive. The, what's that called? Yeah, Fusion Flare. That thing's going to be doing 90, so then it's going to be doing 120 with an Overdrive. And then if you have the Zekrom with the Tapu Koko, and that thing's overdrove, like, the dragons are going to be insane, guys. You have Entei, another figure I don't have. It's going to be doing 140 and 80. Pretty good figure, and it has a 3MP off of the bench, so I definitely think we're going to be seeing some Entei. It just sucks that his Fierce Roar, like that purple, is just really bad. Really bad purple. Heatran. Definitely think Heatran is going to be a viable option. I thought about maybe running in Litten. We need to get one of these. If I really end up dumping all my resources in the Incineroar, I might buy him. That's a pretty good Zapdos counter, Mew counter. I think, the Tapu Bulu, I don't have him. Tapu Bulu, 3MP. Mega Venusaur's going to be 3MP. I like this figure for the gym, 3MP. And, with the ability to be able to, that full swing, it's going to be able to possibly get you some cheesy wins. And then the Ula Ula Wish is pretty cool with the ability. I think it's best for Deoxys because like they're all Deoxys, so you're gonna be able to take away the ability on all of them. But yeah, I kind of wish I had him to try him out. And then I think it's gonna, you know, be able to counter like the Cyclone Kick. I'm pretty sure because it says like, but it doesn't knock you out, but it moves you. It moves you to the PC. So it says like, you know, your grass types are pretty much immune to movement and knockout effects of attacks. So it's going to take some testing because I haven't got to use it really. I haven't really got to see anybody test it out. But this would be a pretty cool figure to use. I think if you have Bulu, definitely put him on the deck and try him out with who you have. I just wanted to see the ones we haven't looked at. If I haven't missed any, I think that pretty much covers all of them, guys. Yeah. You know, Solgaleo, I think we could see that with the Sunsteel attack. Yeah, Sunsteel Strike. But it's, you know, it's subject to getting burned or a status effect. So might not be that great, guys. Might not be that great. Zekrom, man. I can't believe I pulled that. That was so clutch. I was so clutch I pulled him. I don't have the Reshiram. But yeah, people are definitely going to be using the dragons. Those things are going to be pretty scary. Maybe Suicune, but maybe Greninja. Aggron, probably not. Yeah, Greninja. You know, Greninja is like, it was so good for a while, it's just not that good anymore. Especially with the X speed, like, you can pretty much make anything you want. Now, Rayquaza, in terms of 1 MP, I think Rayquaza is pretty good, but if you can get away with making a deck without having any 1 MPs, do it, because 1 MPs just, it slows you down way too much. Slows you down way too much. Cosmo, possibly, you know, try to evolve a Lunala. Because if my Lunala had a 75, like, yeah, 150, like, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it, guys. I don't want this video to run too much longer. Because I do want to try to build a deck before we finish up, so I can kind of show you guys what I'm going to build. So, yeah, there's Mystic's deck. That, you know, that was #1 deck. That thing came in so clutch for me that 1 month when he shared it. So, here's my 1 deck idea. A lot of them kind of look the same, but I think this is what I'm going to go with, guys. I think this is my team right here. We got the Blaziken. We have the Lunala, so we don't get Typhoon Slashed in like 2 or 3 turns. Dartrix, I think, is going to be a pretty easy evolve, man. I can use a double chance, or I could use an X speed. You know, I feel pretty confident. Like, you could X speed into a Virizion, you beat the Grass Knot, and you beat the Typhoon Slash, and you have the chance of it spinning twice and beating the Swords if they don't have a lot of chains. Lunala's going to hit for, you know, 130. Sableye's going to counter Blaziken pretty decently. You know, any Chestnuts, like a lot of figures. Like, I think this team is, like, I'm pretty excited to try it out, guys. I can't wait to do some duels and share them with you. You know I'm going to be going for the 11 win streak, as I always do, but I don't want to put too much stress on myself because I always do. It's just been so long since I got one, but I know there's a lot of people that haven't even got 1 Invincible trophy, so it's not like I'm complaining, but I'm like 1 trophy behind. 1 trophy behind, and you know, the masks aren't great, right? But it's just kind of the point, right? As a collector, this is like a collection game, so you're like collecting stuff. But yeah, I think the X speed's gonna work really well with the Dartrix and with the Lunala and even the Blaziken. So that's why I have the X speed, then some double chances, and you know, max revive, gold block. You know, long throw may be a good option. A lot of people run long throw, but I like having gold block way more. But I hope this was helpful, guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're going to run. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, if it helped you. And as always, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. I'm going to get to work dueling in the grass gym so you guys can see that. And follow me on Twitter, tag me in some screenshots, tag me in your discussions. And until the next one, later, guys.